Hello, and welcome to I am fastidious and a perfectionist, and that makes completing tasks very difficult. It has been over a year since I've done a house tour. I fully intended on doing one much sooner than this, but this is the chaos of constant home renovations. I have been living here since November of 2020, and the home renos have not stopped in that year plus of living here. So I haven't recorded an updated house tour because I keep thinking, oh, I want to finish this project first. Oh no, wait, I've started a new project without finishing that other project that I was talking about, and now my bathroom is in upheaval. So I have decided to record this video showing the chaos. This is what my house looks like. This is what it actually looks like when you were constantly doing home renos. If you are like me and you moved into a house with the intention of fixing it up yourself, it takes time, especially when you're trying to do it all by yourself. And especially like me, I live alone, so I am literally doing it by myself. I don't have someone else living here with me that can help me out, so I'm doing it all alone. So projects take longer, and I also have the issue of just not finishing things before moving on to a new project. So I have a lot of projects that aren't quite done yet. So I'm just gonna show what it really looks like, because there's usually a lot of chaos happening behind the camera that you never see in these videos, and it's kind of starting to drive me crazy. I have relatively recently started watching a YouTube channel called Mia Maples, and she does a lot of home reno stuff, and actually just recently bought a house and is kind of doing the same thing that I've been doing, where she's fixing up room by room. And in some of the last 2 or 3 most recent videos that she uploaded, she talked about how rooms are just in chaos when she's not working in them. And I'm like, yes, when the rooms that you're not seeing on camera are in chaos. So yeah, this is what my house looks like, and this is what it normally looks like. This room is usually the best in the house because there's not too much reno stuff happening in this room. So this room usually looks relatively okay. I did recently, I had this weird old, I think it was a weatherproofing thing that was on my front door that I finally removed yesterday. I actually lived here for 8 months before I even noticed it. It was this weird foam strip on the bottom of the door. So I finally got rid of that. And little things like that really just, yes, if you're very obsessive over details like I am, doing little projects like that only take 10 minutes will make you feel so good. So I'm so glad I did that yesterday. I feel so happy that I finally did it. But another one of those projects that I recently have been working on is, I got it in my head that I had to spray paint all of my knobs and faceplates. So you can see, look at how shiny and new that faceplate looks compared to the old locks that have been there for a long time. You can see how much nicer that looks. I also did the letter slot down there. It looks fantastic. And initially, when I got it in my head that I wanted to do this, I didn't know if it was actually going to make much of a difference. But after her doing, I have so many doors in my house. I have 17 doors in my house, okay? That's a whole rant that I could go on about. But I'm so glad I did this. It's the little details like this that you don't notice until you do it, and then you notice it because it looks so nice. I didn't realize how bad the faceplates and knobs looked until I did. And then once I spray painted all of them, I mean, look at how fantastic that looks. it looks so nice. It looks like a actual feature now instead of just being there. They were so old and discolored, and it was time consuming because I have so many doors in the house, but I'm so glad that I did it. And honestly, it was kind of a fun project because although it took a long time to do, it wasn't super labor intensive. Like spray painting stuff is not a hard thing to do. So it ended up being an actual fun project, and I'm glad that I did it. So that was a recent thing that I worked on. I also spray painted the bolts and the catches. I did those in copper so that they kind of blend in to the wood a bit more, because I didn't feel like you really want to draw attention to the catches. So I did those as well. I feel like at some point I'm going to want to do the hinges, but oh my god, I'm not looking forward to that. What a pain that is going to be. But I feel like at some point I'm just going to have to do it. Like my brain is going to make me do it. But this is what all of the knobs and faceplates looked like before, with that awful like aging discoloration, scratching. That's how everything looked. So you can see this one down here is almost completely brown. They were gold at one point. So yeah, at some point that might be a future project. I'll do those in copper as well, just like I did with the catches, because once again, I don't feel like I mean, maybe some people do. I personally don't feel like I want to draw attention to the hinges. So I would just go ahead and do those in copper and let them kind of blend in a bit more to the surrounding wood. Another small thing I did was I got hinge pin door stops so that I didn't have to have those ugly things sticking out of the walls, which is what was in place before. So I got those and installed those on a bunch of the doors. So like this one, for example, I have this heating vent back here. So sometimes I'd open this door the whole way and not think about it, and then it was blocking the vent. So this stops that from being able to happen, which is just a good thing for me. It makes one less thing that I have to worry about. I don't have to, you know, worry that I forgot to close the door. So that's nice. Other than that, I haven't really done any reno stuff in this room. Stuff has been, you know, placed and everything like that, but not a whole lot needed to be done in this room specifically. I do have this wood bench that I plan on sanding, staining, basically just refinishing it because I would like it to be black so that it contrasts a bit more instead of being the same color as the floors. That is a project I plan on doing once it gets nicer outside. But I have another one of those benches upstairs that I also want to do the same thing with. So that is a project that is on the books. I haven't quite mastered refinishing furniture yet, but there's a table in my basement that was my first go at refinishing furniture, and it's been down there for a few months. So we are now in the kitchen. This was a big reno room, and I haven't completely finished it yet. I'll actually show you my shame. Back here I had some water damage on that wall. At least I believe it was water damage based on what it seemed like. It definitely seemed like some sort of previous water damage. And I haven't patched it and painted it yet. But I did patch and paint the entire rest of the kitchen. Ignore that cabinet door that I took the door off so I could do the trim along the cabinet and then never did. And that was probably 6 months ago. Literally all I have to do is slap a piece of tape there, paint along that line, and then put the door back on. 6 months that door's been laying up there. I'll do it eventually, but it won't be today. I also still need to paint the doors and the door trim in here because when I was painting everything else, I realized that the doors are super dirty and need to be like aggressively wiped down before I can paint them. So I haven't done that yet either, and I also have issues with peeling paint from where I removed the faceplates so that I could spray paint them. I had some paint peel, so I'll have to also deal with that before I can paint. Like, this is just fully peeling off, so I'm gonna have to fix all that before I can even paint. What else happened in here? I can't express how time consuming painting was in this room, because there was so much patching to be done because there were cracks everywhere. I had a huge crack on the ceiling, and then a lot of smaller spidering cracks all over the ceiling as well that you probably can't see on camera, but you might be able to see slight discoloration there of where I patched some cracks, and it's not actually discoloration, it's like a texture difference because I didn't use, now I know, I bought spray on texture, which is what you use when you do patching with like spackle and stuff like that. You can use spray on texture to even the texture back out to match the surrounding walls. So that's something, like in the future I might go back over it with the spray on texture to kind of cover that up a bit better. But on camera, like, you can't see it. All the cracks are gone. It's fantastic. Do have like one crack up there that for whatever reason I did not patch when I did everything else. But cats. Let's move on to the living room. What kind of mess is the living room in? I kind of become desensitized to the chaos and forget about things. The living room isn't bad because I haven't really been doing any work in here. I feel like because I spent all my time in here, I try to not start projects in here. But I did get the worst of it done in that video that I posted. But I do have some projects happening. I was testing out filling in the gapping around the baseboard. I got some colored caulk that I was trying to use. The gapping over here though was a bit too big. The floor dips down a little bit farther here at the front of the house, so it was too big to fill with caulk, but I did fill in this area here, which I'll probably have to get really close. You can see like the slight color difference. I filled in a little bit of gapping along there because there used to be shoe molding in here that was removed before I moved in, and I could reinstall new shoe molding, but the thing is, I don't like shoe molding. I don't like the way that it looks. I have it upstairs still in the bedrooms, and I'm not a fan. I don't like it. Sometimes it looks okay, but with these just like block baseboards like I have, I don't like the way it looks. I think it just doesn't look right to me. So I'm not a fan. So I would much rather try and fill in the gapping with caulk like I'm trying to do than to reinstall shoe molding. So I tested that out on this little strip of baseboard here, and it worked pretty okay. I also did a little bit over at the stairs, and it actually looks pretty nice. I did the little strip there, but you can see I did a bit more here on the stairs, like around all these edges, and the color isn't a perfect match, but it does look better than this like harsh black line that was there before, which I imagine is probably just from the stain settling into the corners. Like when they stained the floors, it probably settled into that crack, and that's why it's that black color. I assume. I don't know for sure, but that's the assumption of why it would have that such harsh dark color. But it does look better than that, in my opinion anyway. It looks a bit more finished at least. So that was a project, something that I tried that I had no idea if it would work or not. Oh yes, this was a huge project that I did, after filming my living room video, and realized that I never even discussed in any of my house videos. So before, this was like a super dark, almost black color. It was a super dark brown, and never once mentioned it. I didn't even mention it in any of my videos. So this is a textured wallpaper. It is ornate and beautiful, and I like it a lot. And like I said, yes, this is textured, okay? You see that? It is a textured wallpaper. It looks fantastic. I like it a lot. I think it's very, shows the age of the home, I guess would be the best way, because this house was built in 1930. So I feel like this is something that's very, like, you would not see this in a modern house, which I love. But it was this super dark browny black color, which, number one, did not look good against the wood in the house, because I have this like red toned wood. So I had this super blacky brown against the red toned wood. It did not complement each other at all. But then also, because the color of the wallpaper was so dark, it completely like just hid the actual pattern of the wallpaper. You couldn't see it unless you were like right up at it, and then you could see the pattern. So I decided that I wanted to paint it. I actually decided this, I think, before I even moved into the house, that I really wanted to do something with it. So this was a huge project. I painted all of this, I don't even remember how long ago. This is probably the project that I did in the house that I'm the happiest with, because it was the biggest change. Because all the painting that I did in the house, I just did a fresh coat of white, so it didn't really transform the space drastically. But this, huge change, and it looks so, so good. I'm so happy with it. Like, you can see how much nicer it looks against the wood tone. So I don't know why my cat is yelling at me, but this was a huge project. I don't know why I never talked about it in any of the other videos, but so happy with the way it turned out. And it just brightens the hallway because you don't have that dark color on the walls anymore. Let's go over the upstairs. Let's go into the bedrooms first, where it is an utter chaos. So this is my bedroom, which I have had done for a while. For some reason, I never did a video about this, but I did completely redo my bedroom. I painted in here, got it all set up. I didn't do too much in here as far as decor wise. I decided that instead of decor, I wanted to use kind of functionality as decor. So what I mean by that is hanging my hats on the wall. It kind of is functional, but also acts as decor almost, if that makes sense. So I have my hats hung there. I got this jewelry storage mirror thing to hang on the wall that, once again, it puts something on the wall, but it has a purpose. I got these little things here to hang bags on. I have a mirror here. Decor wise, I do have this hung up, which this is actually a towel, but I decided to hang it on the wall. I'm not super happy with it currently because I just have it nailed to the wall, and you can see it creates this uneven line at the top. But I had the fantastic idea that I can attach it to a dowel and then hang it on the wall, and that'll create that nice straight line at the top. So that is a project that I have. I just need to buy a dowel. So I'm going to be doing that. But besides that, all my clothes are here. That hasn't changed at all. I did bring this rug up here. This was my old bedroom rug before I moved into the house, so it ended up back in my bedroom again. The whole theme for my bedroom was monochromatic, so this rug worked in here fantastically, and it also perfectly fits in this space here. I don't know how much it makes sense to like have this rug where I have it. You know, there's these like rules about where you should place rugs and the sizes that they should be, but basically my thought process was that I wanted this room to be monochromatic, but I have a lot of natural wood in here, so I wanted to cover the floor as much as I possibly could to cover up some of that wood tone. So I put the rug in this big open space here to cover that up, and it did what I wanted it to do. So that was the thought process with that. But I got these black curtains to go with the color story, if you will, for this room. Really the only color other than the wood tones is some like brownie tans and the yellow of my side table / ottoman that's over there, which even though that completely goes against the like theme for this room, that ottoman just works way too perfectly as a side table in here for me to put it somewhere else in the house. It's like the perfect size and the perfect height to be a side table for this bed because the bed is relatively low to the ground. So I just can't justify taking it out of this room just because it doesn't match the color story for the room. So that kind of, you know, goes against it. But I do have a little bit of color pops with the shoes, and obviously my clothes are in open space, so you have some color that comes in from there. But yeah, this is my bedroom, and I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. I do still have, like, I feel like I need to hang something right there to balance this out a little bit more. I do have this little macrame thing that I think I'm gonna hang there. But, yeah, little shelves that I got just to be able to put a little bit of decorative items up. But yeah, the whole idea for this room, like I said, monochromatic. I wanted it to be dark. I kind of used like moon and stars as inspo for in here. So I do have like a little moonlight and like a cloud and like my little night light, which I don't keep it on at night, but it is like a little planet. And I do have these are like a moon and a star, so I did try to like bring that in a little bit for a theme. But yeah, this is my room. I wanted to keep it simple. I literally only sleep in here. You'll notice there is no TV in here. That is intentional. I do not watch TV. I come in here to sleep and nothing else, and that has been fantastic. I'm so glad to have like a separate bedroom. I have to keep cutting because my cats are just being the most while I'm trying to film. But here is the spare bedroom, which I call the cat's room because I don't ever come in here. And this is where my one cat always lays and looks out the window. So this room, once again, nothing really happened in this room other than painting. I did put a fresh coat of paint on the walls because there was a lot of scuffs and marks and stuff like that. So I literally just like took a bunch of leftover white paint that was left here, mixed it all together, and used that to put a fresh coat of paint on this wall. So there was like no plan for this room as far as like decorating. I just wanted a fresh coat of paint on the walls. So it ended up being white because that's what I had extra of. And I did hang up posters in this room. And this is where I store my DVDs because I didn't want them downstairs. So it ended up like this is where they are. So Not really any rhyme or reason. It was just like I didn't feel like there was a good place to put them downstairs, so I decided to just put them up here. And then this is my futon, which used to be my bed at my mom's house before I moved out. And now it's in the spare bedroom. So, I mean, that works. I have a spare bed if anyone ever needs to stay over. But like I said, this is where my cat lays and looks out these windows. So I keep these curtains open at all times so that my cat can just get up there and lay. And she absolutely loves it. And it doesn't make any difference to me because I just keep the door closed and I don't come in here, so it's fine that the curtains are open. But I do still have the curtains if I do need to close them. And that's also why the bed is in front of the window like this. Like, this isn't how I would probably set this room up, and it also is not how I originally had it set up. But when I realized how perfectly the height matches the windows, I decided to put this here, and yeah, she loves it. Don't you, Momo? She loves it. So that's why it's set the way it is. I have some more posters. I have this little like desk thing that was originally downstairs. I don't really use it. I might just get rid of it at some point, but I decided to just bring it up here because I don't know what I want to do with it yet. This is a litter box. I decided to get litter box enclosures because I just can't deal with having my litter boxes out in the open. I can't deal with it. And I'm lucky enough that both of my cats are fine with using enclosed litter boxes.